They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression. It's all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression. It's all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon and dub it. Why you be all in my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you a...
You're listening to the Urban Sports CWall. I'm joined by founder of CWall Sports and Entertainment and Bowie TV's Commanders reporter, Candi Waller. What's going on, Candi?
Hey, Wale, what's up?
Everything's everything, man. You know, everybody's excited about. We could have did a show about like the schedule, but I didn't want to go there because everybody's excited about the schedule. But I wanted your experience of what happened with you last week. You know, at Ricky Minicamp. But before we talk about Ricky Minicamp, we got to knock out some particulars. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure, if you're on our YouTube channel right now, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. When you like this video, it does wonders for the algorithm. So right now, if you're on there right now, you're already subscribed. Please hit that like button and just kind of get us going. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Bowie TV YouTube channel as well. Hit that red subscribe button if you're on there. You're not a subscriber to the Bowie TV YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button. Also, like this video as well. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene. And also like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Just search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. Like I mentioned, Ricky Minicamp took place last week. Candi, you were in attendance at Minicamp, at Ricky Minicamp. First off, what were your overall thoughts of Minicamp, Ricky Minicamp?
You know what? It was a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left there, I said to myself, okay, the Commanders clearly have a type.
Okay.
They got a type. You know, you meet your friends or whatever. It's like, you know, when your homie got a type.
Yeah.
He was like,
you got a type,
right.
Yeah.
You got a type. They got a type. They got a type for sure.
Mm.
And, you know, in the pre-draft press conference, I asked Adam Peters, you know, as they were defining, you know, I went back all the way because, you know, I'm using my own clues. I tell everybody else to use their clues because that's what I do.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, one of the things that Dan Quinn said at the top of his press conference at Combine was, you know, for he and Adam last year at that point in time, they didn't know like the definition of a commander, but now it's like they do, right? They know a little bit more clearly of what that is, that commander standard, what that looks like. So the pre-draft press conference, I asked Adam Peters, and I tied it back to Dan Quinn's comment, what's some of the characteristics from last year's team that really kind of just come, you know, that's a commander, right? So of course he said there's many things, and I know there's many things. You can't just like wrap it up into a thing, but he mentioned Frankie Louvu's competitiveness, right? Or competitiveness like Frankie Louvu. We know there's others, but Frankie Louvu's competitiveness. He talked about Bobby Wagner's professionalism, consistency, his approach, all the things, right? So I said, oh, okay. Let me see where I can figure out who these people are. And literally, that's what I saw in just about in like every rookie.
Okay.
Definitely with we engaged a bit with Gabe Taylor, yes. But when we talk about the 5 draft picks, that competitive spirit, that professionalism, their approach to practice and work ethic, I said, yeah, they got a type. I mean, these are young men who are going to introduce themselves. They're going to shake your hand. They're going to make sure they know your name and all of that. We know that Dan Quinn loves to know people's names.
Yeah.
So this is how they present themselves, right? Ready to work, already know all of their coaches' names. And so I just pay attention to those intangibles. That was one of the things that I held on to from Lance Newmark when I asked him about that. Guys who love the process. These guys love the process. They were giddy and excited to be there just like Dan Quinn was. And so I'm like, yeah, they got a type.
Okay. Mike
They're
has a
all
question.
fast. I would also like to say,
Okay, add that in. Yeah,
from
add that
an
in.
athleticism perspective, because I'm in the intangibles. I'm in the
Yeah.
character intangibles. I got to figure out because these people, they have some similarities, other similarities too, of some other players as well. That I'm like, yeah, I see. I see. Speed, and athleticism. Like
Okay.
every single position group, they're fast.
Faster than we were last year, like from the guys you saw
Yes,
last year.
speed is an
Interesting.
indicator.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, a piece of the unspoken puzzle
Mm-hmm.
that we're seeing here.
Paul said, guys who love to work and compete. Yeah, so that's what you saw. They love to work. These guys love
Oh
to
yeah,
work and compete.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You got to have a high work ethic. That's one of the things you talk about competitiveness. You talk about Bobby Wagner, and I will add Zach Ertz in there as well from a leadership perspective of the way they even approach practice. They were so happy to be there. Of course, because it's a dream come true. Who wouldn't? I was happy to be there, and I was reporting. Okay, so I get it. I get the joy, but that was one of the things that I had asked Dan Quinn about. There was like, I can feel your energy and how happy you are, and he's like, yeah, just talking about how much what he loves about this time of the year in this part of the season, because often, and some of you all may have heard me say this in the past, often when it comes to May, right, it's like nobody cares about OTAs. Nobody cares. Let me tell you something. You want to know the reason why they were playing to the end of January was because they cared in May.
True.
Okay, they cared in May. So that's it. These people cared in May. Okay. And that's one thing that I was, learning and watching and paying attention to. And this rookie, like, they were so attentive, and they're just fast, and they're super professional, kind young men. This is a good group.
I think my man Mike had a question for you, Mike. I got you, Mike. I'll make sure I got you. He said, Mike said, Candi, do you think Peters is going after Drake Jackson from the 49ers?
I don't know what Adam is doing. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, whatever, but here's what we do know. Whatever to get better and fits the Commander standard. As we saw and learned from last year with Adam Peters in his front office, they will do whatever it takes to get better all year long.
That's a fact.
We saw them make moves before the roster was, of course, free agency and signing of free agents, but we saw them make moves before roster cuts.
Yeah,
so they're gonna make it go. They're gonna do whatever needs to be done. While watching, one of the things that I've been watching, I'm not saying it has anything to do with the Washington Commanders. I'm saying just in general, one of the storylines that I have been paying close attention to is what is happening with Trey Hendrickson in the Cincinnati Bengals.
Like a lot of people are. I don't think.
Now, because I think a lot of people thought it was a fluke, right? Like, hey, no, that wasn't no fluke.
Yeah, I feel like this team values their draft picks. It's going to be hard for me to see them trade for them, but
I don't know what they would trade.
Depending if they get a bargain for them, I'm with it. But I don't think, I don't know if they're willing to trade away like there's. I don't think they're willing to trade certain draft picks depending on what the draft.
They only had 5, and that was
last year. They're not going to do it again back to back.
Right, because they don't have anything. They don't have much.
Yeah, oh yeah, because of what's name. Yeah, they don't got that much. Yeah, exactly.
But I just, they're smart. They're, intelligent group. I'm just sitting back and watching the show.
Yeah,
when I say I sit back and watch the show, hey, they haven't given us a reason not to trust. So
facts.
Let them do what they do.
Yeah, I know Mike Drake was Peter's draft pick. I think Drake was in USC, favorite USC, I believe. Yeah. We'll see. I'm not sure if they would I'm not sure if they would go after him. He has a really little potential. So we'll see though. We'll definitely see. But he has talent. We can't deny that. He definitely has talent. So Candi, and just in terms for you, then you're talking about the theme was. Well, I'm gonna go back to something you did say. Like in terms of like, you talk about this often when you're on this show. About leadership. You know, they're bringing guys with leadership. Do all those guys have all these young guys have that quality of leadership?
Absolutely, for sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things that I'm going to go back to, this is where you use your clues. So when Josh Connerly Jr. came here for his first presser, I asked him about his approach to the game. He talked about, when I asked him about his approach to the game, he talked about, you know, like when the ball snapped, he snapped. And then Trey Amos, when I asked him a similar question, he kind of gave a similar answer, right? And I said, oh, so they got them some more Jadens. They got them some more Jadens. Because the most cool, calm, collected person, laid back, chill, kind, professional, all of that, on the field, different human. And that means that they just got some more people there that are going to play football until the game is really over. There is no quit. There is no any of that. Right. And I just want to continue to tell people and share. These were guys that were at the top of their draft board when they picked. These were guys that they were not willing to trade. Up or down, all around. They weren't doing anything. They were staying put to get these individuals.
All right. Well, I got to stop you real quick. Mama Waller here.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mama Waller. Got to make sure.
Yes.
Once you touch down, we stop things to say hi. Hi, Mama Waller. All right. Hey, I had to make sure. All right. Now you can't, Candi, you can continue. I got to make sure.
No, thank you.
I'm sorry. Now you can continue.
But like, it's just, I mean, that's part of the standard too, right? The commander standard is about having like people in the room. You know, I've heard sometimes they're like, what are you going to do when it's all type A people? Or it's all this? Who wants a loser?
Facts.
Who wants a loser? Who wants somebody that's okay with mediocrity? Facts. When you used to being a champion, when you hate, despise losing. And that's just not even in your pedigree. Who wants to be, you know, when people say, well, you get too many G's and not nothing, who cares? Everybody's got to have the same level of vision and work ethic. And I see it. I absolutely see it.
No, that's dope. I like that. Dujane, what's going on, homie? Has a question for you, Candi. Candi, if you are the GM, would you trade away a pick next year for Trey Hendrickson, or do you look at adding a wily vet like Von Miller?
I mean, see, right now, if you would have asked me this a couple months ago, I would have said trade away a pick for next year for sure. I would definitely Trey Hendrickson, absolutely hands down. I'd have said do it now, right? But now I'm like, has this situation gotten a little bad? Is Trey got too much of a chip on his shoulder right now? He's a little too upset for this environment right now.
Okay, looking at it that way.
You know,
okay.
I mean, but at the same token, it's almost like, who cares? I'm sure Marshawn Lattimore was very upset when he got traded. I'm sure he was. I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'm just saying, you know, but whoever you get somebody get traded, they're not happy about it.
Not at all.
But because now this has become a public conversation, I'm like, well, maybe you don't want to touch that situation right now, but you might be fine with what you have. You know, let's see how things play out. Let's see how things happen as time goes on. There's no need at this present date to make an immediate move, is what I believe. But a couple months ago, I would have said, yep. Right now, is everybody good? Okay, everybody over here good. No friction up in here. So let's just chill for a minute. You know, I think, you know, you start to see this staff make moves when it's like a glaring hole.
Yeah.
Right? In the trades that they've made so far. When you really think about the trades that they've made so far, it was like there was a gaping hole. And clearly they don't feel like there's a gaping hole at this position, at least not yet. Right?
Yeah.
They're playing the long game. But if there's ever a need to make a decision and make a move, they will. Because when have they not?
No, definitely. I'm with you. Jay said, "What's up?" Candy says, "Hey, Candy."
Hey, little sis Jay. Yes.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so it is a glaring hole. All right, so
Not to them.
yeah, it's crazy. So this is my thought process because
You gotta
somebody,
use your clues.
yeah,
They're either waiting on Trey.
yeah.
Let's be clear. They're waiting. They're waiting for something. If it is, they're either waiting for something to play out,
Yeah.
or they're good right now.
I just think that I feel like after the trade for Laramie Tunsil, the draft capital you gave up, I don't know if you have enough to try to get up, and I don't think you want. And I don't think it's you. To be honest with you, just because this is not like the old regime where we just give up draft capital.
That's right.
Like once we already did it for one, I don't think you're gonna do it back to back for another individual. So that's why I'm looking at it like, you know, if we didn't have any, if we didn't give up, we didn't get Jeremy Tunsil, then I would be like, yeah, this is definitely in play, right? But we got Jeremy Tunsil.
I've been following it and then tracking it for a purpose, and I've been tracking it for a very long time now, right? But at the same token, we're all losing they're either waiting
to the price go down,
or you know what I mean? They're either waiting or they like, hey, we all right now.
I was waiting for I think if they're waiting for the price to go down. Like they're not, in my opinion.
Have to go down, and it will, because it's too. The price is going to go down because it's too much friction now. Now it's public.
Yeah.
Now it's public. Now it's a public show. It's a display now. So now it's like, well, what you gonna do, y'all? You know, I've been talking about you done threaten him. He need to come to practice. You know, all of the things that nobody wants to hear and be like, oh man, this is terrible. But do they have the capital to give? They do not.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's a question. My man Mike got a question for you. He says, Candy, I do remember asking you before the draft, was you going to be there? You said you don't go to them, but will you be there when it comes to Washington?
Nope.
There you go, Mike. She let you know.
I'll probably go down, you know, like early in the day, just to be like, oh, it's nice down here. You know, but if Adam Peters and Lance Newmark not there, neither will I. I won't be. I'm wherever they are. Seriously. If you were tracking my content, then you know I'm wherever those two are. So if they're there, I'm gonna be there. But if they're not, I have to be wherever they are. But I'll probably go down during the day, of course, because typically, you know. Especially the day of, I'll go down and I'll be in DC all week until it's time for draft night, and then I'll go to Ashburn.
That's it. All right. What did Arias right said? I don't think the guy they want is available right now. Could be available next offseason. That's my thought process. They're looking long term, not immediate. Like I kind of agree with that. Like I feel like they're gonna.
Everybody should want to trade Hendrickson. It's just the price tag.
Well, I mean, I feel like their levels to pass rush. He's good. Like he's really good. And I don't. And it's wild because somebody told me gave me this scenario just in terms of the body of work what this team has done in the offseason on the defensive side of football. It's almost like trying to draft the edge rusher where they drafted the tackle instead, right? Was more they said like will an edge rusher change the trajectory? Like any of those edge rushers that were available, will they change the trajectory of this team's defense? And I was like, I had to think about it over getting a tackle, and I had to think about it, you know, because obviously the 55 points stays true to in my brain about what happened in the playoffs. But like just because of what they've done in the offseason, I was like, I don't think an edge rusher is going to help this team like to be a dominant defense because you let like you may have gotten worse on the back end. Because of letting go Jeremy Chin, like you may have gotten worse on the back end, so you may not be better in that situation. And now we're talking about starting a rookie and this, that, and the other. And I feel like Amos is going to be good, and we're going to talk about like Trey Amos and all the other rookies. But like going after an edge, if you get an edge rush and your defense still isn't good, then what does it matter? Like you know what I mean? Like say you get Trey Henderson and you still.
I think they've made improvements. This roster is better than it was last year. This time.
As defense, you think the defense is better?
And the reason why I say that is because I've had enough conversations about like Jeremy Chin, while that was not necessarily expected,
Okay.
I have been told I would be pleased with the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been told
Mm-hmm.
I'll be pleased. I think you'll be pleased.
Okay.
You know, and so, you know, it's a shock. Things happen and it's like, wait, wasn't expecting that. But they were ready to pivot
Okay.
with another option. And it's not necessarily a lesser based on what they, you know,
What they believe. What they believe.
Right. And I don't, and
Okay.
like I said, they haven't given us a reason to doubt. Like,
I mean, I feel like the defense has. I'm gonna lie to you. I think the defense has to a certain extent. But the offense, I feel like hasn't.
I mean,
like the offense hasn't.
But I think I don't. It's for me. It's probably more of. I mean, they're better than they were last year.
I'll take your word for it. I trust
like
you.
For sure. Like
I'll trust you. I'll
like,
trust
I mean,
your word for
yeah,
it.
like as a collective, at this time last year, they are better. They're a better group, and I don't think I'm going to continue to say these two signings are not being talked about enough. Dietrich Wise and Jonathan Jones.
Okay.
Right. This is why I've been talking about them. I think I asked Adam about them. I definitely asked Dan Quinn about it. People aren't talking enough about these. We're also not talking enough about who they drafted last year. We're not talking enough about Javonte Jean-Baptiste. We still got to figure out what they're going to do with Dominique Hampton, right? We got to see what happens in year 2. Hopefully Jordan McGee is healthy. There's still pieces and things there.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I see how this front office moves.
Okay.
And they're calculated, but they do take risk.
Yeah.
And when I say they're calculated, but they do take risk, let's be clear. Marshawn Lattimore was a fully injured player.
Yeah.
When they traded for him.
Mm-hmm.
That is a risk.
Yeah.
They took it. Might be, you know, was it worth the risk, whatever. In some instances, you can clearly see, absolutely. But if you put in a few more pieces, if he's fully healthy, has time with the playbook, has time with the team, you know, you have to see. But I think this roster for certain is better than it was last year. They got better this year. Now, does it result in the same output? I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I do think they've gotten better for sure.
I'm a firm believer in I gotta see it in a game. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because I know everybody in terms of I just say like anything, everybody looks good at this point in time in the season. They do.
Right. And then the funny thing about somebody, then you bring up a Javon Kinlaw. Well, here's the reality of it, right? Yeah. Everybody like, well, he not that good. This is not well. It was a lot that was said about a lot of different veteran players that got here last year.
That's a fact. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm with you.
Reminded who they were.
Agreed.
You know, everybody was brought back to the essence of who they are as athletes, and that's undeniable. So why wouldn't that transcend this year? So I feel, I mean, until I see otherwise, I'm like, okay. I mean, and I'm just really looking forward to as well. I feel like somebody said something about Tyler Owens.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah, we all are. I'm excited. That's the guy. I kind of.
He's the one everybody need to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
For real. Undrafted was there the whole season.
Yeah, I like him.
Dealt with some injuries off and on, right? Was eventually then stayed on IR. But the mentality, the way he worked, his approach, and he's good.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's still, but going back to the whole program is centered around competition. Yeah. I think that was one of the things I might have said on the show like last year. Like all I know is I can't wait for training camp because the competition. I was telling somebody, I don't know how many times you have heard me tell this story. Last year, it was the last day of OTAs. I promise you, that was one of the best practices I've ever been at in my whole time covering the team. And it was the last day of OTAs.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But it was amazing because everybody was just, they were competing. It had turned into a game situation out there. And everybody was involved. Dan Quinn, everybody was involved. And I was like, ooh, what's happening around here? 12-5 and a trip to the NFC Championship later. Now I understand that practice in June. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if the roster got better from a competitive standpoint, everybody doesn't make the roster anyway, right, y'all? So the competition is gonna be really lit. It's gonna be really fit. And remember, can somebody also? Can I still get my flowers for Frankie Louvu, please?
Yeah. You got it.
I want eternal flowers to infinity.
You got it. You got them flowers. Nobody gonna take your flowers away from you. You ain't doing that on the streets.
Comment that was like, who the F is Frankie Louvu?
No, that was my man Eric said that. I
was getting
not Eric.
Text messages. I was getting DMs.
Right, sorry.
Number 4. Who is this dude?
Yeah.
You just
everybody last year. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, all right. So all right, back to minicamp. All right, back to minicamp. So in terms of Ricky minicamp, who stood out the most to you in Ricky minicamp? Who stood out the most to you? Now, when you said, "All right, you know what? I know it's early, but that Joker look like he can go."
Trey Amos.
That's the guy. I'm in love with Trey Amos. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Slim good.
I ain't even gotta see enough. I kind of think he's gonna be good.
Slim legit.
Slim legit. Trey Amos. See, I was saying like. So all right, why? Tell me why he looked good to you. Why did Trey what made him stand out to you?
He did after especially after I talked to him in the press conference and talked to him after. You know me, I always got to gauge if somebody laughs at my jokes.
Yeah.
But it just see what kind of temperament they have. Like but it was cool. But I was like, oh. In a Marshawn Lattimore led secondary, because let's be real clear about that.
It's led by Marshawn, yeah.
That is definitely
facts. That's gonna be his secondary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you think about now the additions to the secondary, and his temperament is all the way there. Very grown man status, not rookie status at all.
Oh, really? Trace to my image. Okay.
For sure. And so I'm like, okay, he's good. Okay, that one right there, yeah, he's good. Josh Connolly Jr., again, he's super fast, super athletic, on point. All of these guys, and I see the comment about Gabe Taylor. Yes, Gabe was super fast. I know he had been dealing with a hamstring injury. Didn't look like it to me out there. Did not look like it at all. But I was over there by the corners and the running backs for most of the time, and then by the offensive line. So being very, very, just me transparent all the time. I did not see a lot of Jalen Lane just because I wasn't over there. Right?
Jalen Lane, you see a lot of Lane. Got you.
And Kane Madrano was the only draft pick I didn't get a chance to actually talk to.
Got you.
So I didn't get a chance to talk to Kane yet. Talk to everybody else. But Trey,
Trey Amos is him. That's what I'm saying. I like he's
gonna thrive over there learning from Marshawn and them, man.
That's the rookie to me. I feel like I've said this before, and that's the one to me. I feel like that the one that I feel like is gonna have the most impact off the rip is going to be him. I just believe it. Like I believe he's gonna have that. And it's not a knock on the first round pick, but I just feel like in terms of what he brings to the table and his competitiveness and like his film and where he gets to play a position that he's kind of going to be used to playing, and he's seen high quality wide receivers in the SEC. I think that it's just a fit. I just honestly think that he's a guy who will, like, playing against these type of dudes won't, and the style of football he plays, which is a physical brand of football, it won't intimidate him. He'll be ready for it. He went to Alabama, transfer. He went to some of these bigger schools, and before he went to Ole Miss.
Oh,
So he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. Like I like that. I think he looked fast out there too.
Yes.
Okay.
Very competitive. Josh Conley, they're all very, from what I could gather, I see questions about Bill. I hope you all checked out my one-on-one with Bill. He is another one when I first introduced myself to him. And I said, hi, Corey. My name is Candi Waller from Bowie TV. He was like, hey, Candi. He was like, call me Bill. I said, well, let's go ahead and start there. And so that's how we started the interview. Now, I know you told other people before you got here why he called you Bill, but it's not going to count.
Why they call him Bill? Why you call him Bill?
He looked like Little Bill, he said, when he was a baby, when he was a kid.
Little Bill? What's Little Bill? Who Little Bill?
It's a cartoon or somebody.
Oh, cartoon Little Bill. What's a Little Bill cartoon? I'm old, man. I'm sorry.
You gotta watch it. One-on-one on Bowie TV with Bill.
Got you with Bill. Got you. See, I know what time it is. Like, look, matter of fact, I'm not doing you justice. Here you go. There you go. Bowie TV, one-on-one. There you go.
Yeah.
YouTube, subscribe. Bowie TV, YouTube.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Look it up, man. Look it up. Little Bill cartoon. What is a Little Bill? Like, that's crazy. Like, what is it? Like, okay. They got, he black? Little black cartoon? That's what's up, man. All right, let me go on topic. I'm just getting on topic. I'm going. Not Little Bill though. Yes. Oh, yeah. All right. Little Bill. All right, Little Bill. That's what's up. Somebody said Frank. I don't want Frankie Louvu playing defense end. He's not a natural defense end. He's a blitzer. I like him. I like Louvu blitzing. So yeah, I would love an edge rusher, but I do like Baptiste though. I did like a lot of what I seen out Baptiste. But all right, let's go to. I mean, Candi was the first pick overall. So you're saying it's wild. All right, so I'm gonna go lie to you. I don't usually listen to the radio because I don't really like the radio. I'm gonna a lot of folks. I don't like listening to the folks on radio. But I did listen to. I was going on my way back from work, and I put it on the radio, and it's wild because they were talking about Conley Jr. and it's some concerns I've had of him prior. Like it's concerns I've had of him in the draft when he got drafted. But I do want to know how he looked. I'm not going to name who it was. I like this individual. I'm not throwing this individual on the bus. But somebody did a film breakdown, and they said that like Connerly, he's good. He's got potential. He's athletic, like you said. He's very athletic, but he's not at this. But what he did in college may not. Obviously with coaching he can improve on, may not always work in the NFL, right? May not always work at tackle. And he said like he can obviously be the right tackle. So it's not a shot. He can be the right tackle, or he can play guard, or he can be a depth guy. And when I heard depth guy, I was like, dude, the 29th pick in the draft, they ain't looking for depth. They're looking for the starting right tackle. That's what he's supposed to be, the starting right tackle. So for you, what you've seen out of him early, I know it's early and it's hard. You can't really gauge a tackle in like rookie minicamp. You can't really, but just off the athleticism alone, like what stood out to you about him?
I mean, other than he's huge and he's fast, you know what I mean? I'm left to assume before seeing him in pads and with the whole team, that he's going to compete and he's going to continue to get better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So most of the film, anything that I saw was just strictly on when everything was circulating with him going up against Abdul Carter. Right?
Of course, like everybody. That's what
everybody else was saying. So I will tell you this: did you see the clip with when the Eagles were doing the behind the scenes of the draft and Howie Roseman called?
Yeah, I saw that.
And once the Commanders picked Josh Connerly Jr. and Howie Roseman was like, "That was a good pick."
Yeah,
it's a good pick.
I don't be caring about the Eagles, folks. I ain't gonna lie to you. They stay
but he's smart. He's smart. So like if Howie, he's smart.
No, I'm messing with you. You're right. Now Howie is smart.
He say, and the way he did that pin, he said that was a good pick.
No, I think it's a good pick. I do. No.
Yeah. Like you know what I mean. He know what that. He know what it was, and he fully then at that moment understood why, for probably many other reasons, why Adam wasn't trading with him. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
And then you put into the perspective of the fact that this is a rookie now, like let's all use our clues. Now you got a rookie offensive lineman that came in with Jaden. You have another one that's the year after Jaden.
Yeah, you're talking about
You have another one that you traded for.
Uh-huh.
That everybody knows is going to be the left tackle. Like they say, LT going to play LT.
Uh-huh.
All right. You already know you're building your line to protect this young man for the rest of his career as a Washington Commander. Right. So what we learned last year, what I learned is that these rookies are coming to play. You in some capacity.
Oh,
Even if it's something, you're gonna do something.
Yeah.
And if you do not, year two, you better be ready. And for them to again, they got a lot of calls to trade that pick. Not worth the risk.
No, it's your trades because I mean, I think that it's definitely like it's good because they're trying to build the O-line. I'm a fan of that because you got to build, you got to protect your investment because Jaden's your investment.
And it's not like, at least we know we know everybody knows what the Eagles defensive line look like. Everybody knows that the Giants defensive line did get better. You got to have an answer for that.
Yeah.
At least in the division, very much so in the division. And then you got a Micah Parsons 2.0 down there in Dallas. So hey, this is a lot going on. And that's just from a division perspective. This is not talking about just the overall season schedule. So to me, I'm like, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, because we know that's what even happened last year to Brandon Coleman. But we go back to the conversation about Trey Hendrickson. And if you go back and watch that Cincinnati Bengals game, Brandon Coleman held his own.
Exactly.
He held his own.
For me. That's
for
why.
Sure. He absolutely did.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and much of them did until people started getting banged up.
Yep.
But
I agree with you.
I think that they know they always remember, and I tell myself this, I brought it up in the conversation yesterday when Dan Quinn told us in the preseason game. He said, you all have to understand, we're not setting Jaden up for a remarkable game. We're setting him up for a remarkable career. And everybody knows a remarkable team career starts with your quarterback.
Yep. I want to say what Randy just said, man. This is something I've kind of like been harping on, to be honest with you. He said that Brandon was nice last season. I agree. That's what one of the main things. Yeah, I agree. And that's what kind of
drafted a quarterback.
Yeah.
That they clearly believed in. And what did they do? They drafted an offensive lineman too with that class. And then they got another one this year. It's very obvious to me what they're doing.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. Like, this is why that draft pick, I questioned that draft pick. Not to say like I don't think it's a bad draft pick. I questioned it only because I felt like in terms. All right, example. All right, there are players in that draft in that position that I personally feel that will have a way better career than Connolly. That slipped there. They chose to go with Connolly. No knock on Connolly, and Connolly could be a fine player. That's not an argument. I'm not saying Connolly's gonna be a bum, right? But I'm saying there are players that slip down there that would be when we look at it from years to come, we're gonna be like, we can say, oh, we could have had that player, right? But we're gonna go against the argument of protecting Jaden, because I get it, like I totally get it. But my only argument with it is that, because you said it, Candi, even like not said it, but you were there when Coach said like they're gonna try Brandon Coleman at right tackle. And to me, like, and just like Randy said, and you said it, and you schooled me first to Brandon Coleman. So I'm gonna give you your flowers at camp. You schooled me, like, hey, you said, well, like, this dude can ball, like he can ball. All right, so I said, he gonna that round he gonna be the starting left tackle. Say, yeah, he gonna be the starting left tackle. He's the best. Like you said this. You said this. So I'm gonna give you flowers.
Winning the job.
Yeah, right, you said this, and you said this. And so to me, in my thought process, with my mentality is, all right, you got your right tackle. Like you already, to me, like that dude is a rookie, and the only reason when people keep illing on him is he slipped. in his play because he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't slip in play when he was healthy.
Oh, yeah,
When he
no,
was healthy, he was still balling.
He was hurt, and he can move. I see this comment here. That's the thing we've been talking about. Look at what he did at tackle. Move him to guard, especially if you move him to left guard. Oh, Lord, Brandon would have a.
He would kill, but that's
but I think that we also have to remember, Josh Connolly Jr. was at the top of the Commanders board.
Yeah, I
understanding that was more people available. Understanding that, but one thing they're not gonna do is gash you. He really was at the top of their board.
He could have been. Their board. He could have been.
He really was.
Oh no, so I'm sure he is. I'm sure he was.
He was at the top of their draft board again. If you're getting all kinds of calls for it, it ain't worth the risk.
No, they definitely liked him.
Having other people available, it still wasn't worth the risk. I'm like, okay, that's huge.
No,
right?
I agree.
Trey was a gift because many people thought that Trey was going to go in the first round.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
But they just went, like, when you hear, because it rarely happens that way, right? When you hear that a team is picking based on their draft board and they're literally getting the team or the player that's at the top
of their draft board.
That's like, and that's what I said to Adam on the press conference. I was like, I guess this is like Christmas for y'all. You know, he laughed because you're getting the players that was at the top of your board.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's true.
Scouts and and then let's also. People can say what they want about Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
But I always tell people, I think that sometimes you're better together. And what that means is between the scouts and the offensive staff that he has, it helps him to do what he's really good at and what he does well. So if you leave in notes, go draft the offensive tackle from Oregon, like, it might not be the most popular name, the sexy name, there's others available, but they really felt some type of way about this kid.
Oh no. I think he's solid. I don't think he's horrible. I think he's solid. I just think that, it's like anything. For instance, I think it gets to a point where you look at your board and you're like, realistically speaking, who are you going to get in your board? Like, that's when you kind of rank your board on who you realistically, because he ranked 20. If I'm not like, he ranked on a lot of people's board as like the 30th best player, 30 best prospect, and they got him at 29. So he was like, where they got him at is pretty much where he's projected to be around. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is, like, the players who slid, and I'm not talking about like Shador now. I'm talking about the legit players that they really would like me who slid. I personally, again, I could be wrong. I personally think when we go from years to come, years down the road, there are going to be some players that are going to be better in their position than him. Not to say that it's going to make him, doesn't mean that he's going to be any worse than anybody. Like, there are people, for instance, who passed up on Micah Parsons. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think it depends. I think it comes down as well to your output, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So this is why, last year I kind of was like, I stopped doing draft grades, because I said you don't do draft grades until the season is over. I need to see what happens first, right? I need to see how you do first. I need to see what happens here first.
Yeah.
So I think once once everybody kind of sees what happens, I'm like, was it good or not? Yeah. You know what I mean? Based on what happens. But I think the line got better, and I think it's also obvious.
Agreed.
That they're stacking so that Jaden has his line, and he has his line now. Those guys, that position group is very close.
Yeah.
Very close. Cool group of guys, all of them cool. And they do a lot together as a group. And so I'm anxious to see.
Me too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I look forward. I like practice. During the season, they don't really let you. They don't really.
You like training camp. You be in it. Training camp. You be in it. You like training camp.
I love training camp. I love training camp. I be out there. I don't want nobody to bother me when I'm out there at training camp, because I be having to look and watch. I told you a lot of stuff last year when you would come out.
That's what I'm saying. That's why the brand.
Like, well, man, I need to break it to you. They're gonna trade Jahan. You was like,
yeah,
what?
You said that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I'm giving you flowers about Brandon Coleman thing, because I ain't gonna be. This is how I look at it, and this is I'm gonna jump off this topic because like I ain't gonna keep beating the dead horse. But like when you told me like when I saw when I put like Brandon Coleman and the way I saw him play, to me personally, I'll be real with you. Like I'm not drafted if Coleman, because I believe it's all in competition, like you said, it's all about competition. Like I personally believe it and believe it, and maybe you know more. Definitely you'll know more. That Coleman and Connerly are going to compete for that right tackle's position, and the loser of that position, quote unquote, the loser moves to guard.
It's supposed to be Andrew Wiley.
So Andrew Wiley
and Brandon Coleman
are competing for the guard position.
Tackle.
Oh, what's Connerly competing for? Guard. He's starting, right? He's competing for the right tackle position, right?
I don't know where they're gonna put him. I think they're gassing us a little bit, but Andrew Wiley and Brandon Coleman are for sure
competing for the right tackle. Oh, that's wild. That changes. Look, that's gonna change a lot. That changes my thought process a lot now. That better not be it. I ain't gonna lie to you, Ken. That better not be what's happening.
I mean,
I get the depth, I get it, but I feel like you can get a guard in the second, third round. I'm a big believer in you, but you know what? You got train him, so it's all good. You know.
Yeah, and if it's a depth issue, and let's also another key word everybody usually includes is versatility.
Yeah, he is versatile. He can do both.
They can play multiple positions.
But can't don't be telling me, nah. Look at Paul. Paul, like, nah, I can't have that. Like, is that what they doing for real though? I ain't gonna hold you. That's what they doing.
I mean, well, you guys got to remember that Sam Cosmi is not playing at the beginning.
Yeah, that too. I believe me. I know that hurts. That hurts the soul.
He's not playing.
That's gonna be interesting. Okay.
So it has to play out. Let's be clear. Y'all not gonna know. Y'all do understand.
I don't know nothing.
You're not gonna know
nothing.
The starting lineup, because this is also another thing you all now this is one of the issues. Now that I can tell y'all, one of the issues that we've always heard from other beats is that I know I've heard it is that Commanders media tell too much.
They do, facts. Oh, I want you to tell you anything. I ain't trying to get you said. Look, we don't do dry snitching on the show.
Competing for it, but even if I knew for real, I'm not telling y'all because they need to know that they can trust me with a secret. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
And I'm not about to give the ops no information.
I like it.
Because
I ain't all for dry snitching.
Was kind of cool to cover. All right.
Yeah.
If people are watching and listening, they're like, "Oh, we got the whole lineup. We can start planning for the Commanders right now."
Facts.
Why does anybody need to know that? Like seriously, like I always be like, it's like we're spoiled in this area, but don't understand how detrimental it is to tell who's starting, who's taking what reps, who's doing what. That is the ops. That's giving out key intel and information. Would you like for the Giants to be planning based on what I tell you today? They would. Because the media is the easiest place to get information on the team. People do that all the time. Press conferences in the media. Okay, so this is why you know what I mean. In articles, I mean it's easy because you're there.
Yep.
So it's like, well, you know, they go and talk to Candi all the time in the meeting. So if she said it, it's true.
It's true.
About to be like, well, I did tell you that because that's something that Dan Quinn said publicly. So that ain't on me. He said that. I'm like, well. He said that, okay, but it's not going to give you the answer. And I think that's some of the things that would wait to see how it plays out. What we also saw last year, we saw this team have to switch up on the line in game multiple times.
Yep.
When people had to go out. So versatility is a thing. It doesn't.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
We saw them make changes in game. It was crazy because sometimes it would happen so fast you didn't even realize what happened. You'd be like, wait, who was that center? Or wow, because Tyler had to go out or whomever. So it's like, I mean, everybody can deduce who's going to do what. Everybody knows LT gonna play LT, and that's about as much as I can give you. Tyler Biadasz will be the center, but that right side,
it's gonna be amazing, man.
You don't know because here's the facts.
It's amazing.
Then you can make opinions on. Here's the facts.
Yeah,
Sam Cosmi is got an Achilles injury. He's doing well, but he will not be there week 1. Okay.
It's because ACL, right? It's ACL, right? It's ACL.
Exactly.
Okay,
Ain't
ACL.
week
Okay.
1, no, none of that's happening. So
Right.
your right side and your left guard, you don't know.
Yeah, he should. I would love for him not to come back this year. Because I would love for him to rest. I'm a firm believer in resting the ACL. Like, I just me though. I don't want
Yeah,
him.
it's just that
I'm a believer in
they're
that.
gonna take the Joe Witt Jr. approach. Well, which is we rolling out a crew.
Yeah.
Remember last year when Joe Witt Jr. was like, "Don't you ask me who's starting?" I was like, "You ain't got to worry about me asking you that ever." So, I mean, I think that's just one of the things.
Yeah.
Use your clues. You know, okay, Tyler Biard is going to be your center. All right. LT going to be LT. All right. Jaden Daniels the quarterback. We know that Sam Cosmi is injured for real. Really don't know what's about to happen on the right side.
That is okay. I like that. I like the information. All right. So I mean, obviously we talked about him a little bit, but yeah, Sean Taylor, little brother, Gabe Taylor, mate, is on. I was out there. Everybody rooting for him. How are you looking out there, man? You talk about he looking a little fast.
I thought he did well. Like I said, he was super duper fast. I haven't heard anything else, you know. So hopefully he's given an opportunity. You know, so we'll see. But I think again, they got to type, you know, his overall temperament, his speed, his athleticism. I heard he had been dealing with a hamstring injury. I could not tell that at all. So we'll see what happens. And we're also there. We're only out there. We're out there. How long are we out there? Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Y'all definitely out. I mean, luckily it's not super hot, so y'all kind of like cool.
It was nice.
Yeah, y'all not doing that like it's not August where it's like painful.
Right. Yeah. No.
That crap is painful. I don't know how y'all do it. It's painful.
Yeah.
That August, that stuff y'all do in August. Yeah, I hope you make the team, man. It's like it's cool. Like another kid from Rice. You had like, you know, obviously you had McCaffrey who went to Rice. Now you got Gabe Taylor went to Rice. I hope he makes the team. I do. I think and also it's a position where I believe like there is an opportunity to kind of make the team. I feel like safety position for the Commanders isn't the strength. I mean, I like Tyler Owens though. I ain't gonna lie. I think Tyler Owens is awesome. I like Quan. Everybody else, I'm kind of not really personally. I'm not speaking for you. For me personally, everybody else, I'm not in love with. And y'all can take whatever you want to take out of that for me. But I like Quan. I like Tyler Owens. Everybody else gets mine. So I think there's an opportunity for him if he balls out in camp to at least find a way to kind of we may see his number being called sometime down the road. Not to say it's gonna happen this year or in the beginning of the season, but sometimes down the road. Paul said he reminds you of Earl Thomas. That's high praise. Earl Thomas.
He's tremendous. I mean, he always made an impact of some sort on special teams. You know, that's really, if you pay attention to this team as well, that's really what you're looking at. Unless you were there for special teams, right? You are a special teamer, like that's your primary role. But a lot of times, if you pay attention, you know, with Dan Quinn, he would be like someone who makes an impact on special teams, right? And then it grows into other responsibilities because they can trust you there. They can trust you in other places too. The energy there, it's so much. And again, because y'all know I'm a special teamer, it's
a special teamer.
It's a lot of emphasis that's placed on that group. And down the stretch, they were putting some of the starters on their special teams unit.
They were.
And playoffs, they absolutely were.
They were
putting them out there on special teams plays for sure.
So so what's your vibe? Do you think there's a legit chance for him to make the team, or is this more of a good story?
Who?
Gabe Taylor.
Oh, I think there's a legit chance. I don't think they're bringing anybody in for rookie camp that would have a legit chance.
Okay.
But it's hard to make these rosters. Yeah. You know, it's very difficult to make these rosters. I'm glad that he accepted the invitation from the Commanders because he had other invites as well. Can't go to all of them, right? So I hope he does because he's a quiet temperament from what I can tell, but very attentive, hard worker, all the good things. And like I said, that speed and that athleticism, they like fast people.
That's good. I mean, I mean, obviously, everybody here is rooting for him. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if you ain't rooting for him, you were not a Commanders Redskins fan. I ain't gonna lie to you. makes the practice squad. I mean, that'd be dope too. I'm not mad at that. That's an opportunity. I feel that's a lane for him to make the team. The lane for him to be on the team in the regular season. Practice squad would be fine for me. Anyway, as long as he doesn't get cut, I feel like, and like you said, speed is important. Instinct is everything, and I'm a believer in genetic traits. Because his brother had some traits in terms of just instincts, and I do believe I'm a believer in that type of thing. So if not physicality, if not anything physical like physicality, it's hard to kind of be as physical or have the God-given ability that his older brother had. But in terms of like the traits of like the mind of the game, I think that can be passed down. So yeah, I'm rooting for that kid. Like actually, like I would love, man, if we ever saw him starting, I would be excited, elated, to be honest with you. Not excited, elated.
It looks just like them. They all got the same face.
They do. They got the same face. That's why when you look at them, you're like, wow, you see.
He's
That's
just
the thing.
smaller. You know,
yeah, he's smaller. Yeah, when you
he's not his brother.
Yeah,
you know, he's not his brother. He's not Sean. He's Gabe.
Yeah.
But they all look alike.
They do. That's when I was looking at him, I was like, oh snap, damn.
Yeah,
That's what I was like, damn. All right. Yeah, that's definitely. That's definitely that you see him in him.
For sure. They got the same face.
Definitely. All right. So other than Gabe, who's an undrafted rookie that caught your eye during minicamp, and are you excited to see in July in training camp? Like that you saw this dude in rookie minicamp, this undrafted dude, and then you're like, you know what? I want to see him in training camp in July.
I'm gonna be honest. You know, Michael Wiley was out there again.
Oh, the running back? No, Michael Wiley.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? The running back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, from last year from Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there again?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he was all right. He was good last year. Paul loved him. My man Paul in the chat love Wiley.
Right. So I feel like somebody on here likes him.
Paul loved Wiley. He loved Wiley. He was the best runner. He was the best running back ever.
But I was again, I was over there with the running backs.
Okay.
Running backs.
Okay.
Corners. And the offensive line.
So the Bill look good? Little Bill?
Yeah, Little Bill is all right with me.
Little Bill look all right. Like he could be, because a lot of folks here think Little Bill could be the starting running back for the Washington Commanders.
I mean,
I don't see it, but
seventh rounder. Yeah, I like his attitude. He does remind me a lot of Brian.
Oh, Brian. Oh, B-Rod. He does. Okay.
And so we'll see what happens. I see them in pads. I got to see them in practice. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. The O-line is better.
Okay.
So it's going to be hard to tell. You understand what I'm saying?
All right. It's better.
We're going to be able to tell, but with a better line.
Oh, because Tunsil's going to be there. That's going to be better. It should be better.
It's going to be,
Jeremy's there. It should be better. It should
hold a bit more.
Yeah.
What I would be looking to see from anybody is who can create.
Yeah.
When you don't have anywhere to go, where do you go?
Yeah. It's going to be better with Jeremy, definitely. I had to think about you because I keep forgetting about Jeremy. I don't know why I be forgetting about
Laramie. You keep calling him Jeremy.
I know Laramie. Sorry, Laramie. I know Jeremy.
Always remember LT.
Yeah. LT. All right. I apologize, Laramie. I think that Laramie. I think Jeremy just sounds better. But anyway, sorry, Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, LT is LT.
I call him Larry. Y'all don't call him Larry. No, I call him Larry.
I'm gonna call him LT.
LT. You call him LT? Dang, that's like, you call him LT? That's tough, man. You call him LT? Is that what he goes by for real?
I don't know. Maybe I should ask.
He gotta be a savage. He gotta be a savage because he is a savage, though.
But it's his initials.
I know, but you got Lawrence Taylor, you got LaDainian Tomlinson. Those some vicious LTs, man. Dang. That's like the Hall of Fame of LTs. That's the Hall of Fame of LTs. I thought you were saying left tackle at first.
Well, no, that's how we.
That makes sense. That makes sense. LT.
Honestly, he used to call him LT. He's gonna play LT. He joked about it one day. The press. I was like, oh, okay, this is LT.
He do play LT too. That's wild.
Like that's the only clue he's gonna give. LT.
LT. I'm gonna call him LT. You call him LT. I'm gonna call him LT.
Yeah,
LT,
I
yeah.
don't remember, but it's I'm super impressed. I don't know if you know his backstory, Bill's backstory, which
Oh,
is,
Bill, this is
you
hilarious.
know, he dealt with some eligibility issues
Yeah,
for a game, and then he
LT.
but he still showed up. He said, I
Yeah,
mean, that's his initials.
I know he's joking around like it's LT. Larry, his name's at least Laramie. Laramie has earned it. Laramie earned it.
But
He's an all-pro left tackle. It's just hard for me to call another man, another
it's
football player
Laramie.
LT.
Well, just remember Laramie Tunsil.
I'm just going. I want to call him Larry for some strange reason. But
I
go
was
ahead.
just telling you to remember LT.
I know you're right. But I don't
Laramie.
know. I don't know why I want to call him Larry. Larry just sounds so much cooler right now for me. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But you know, his story is pretty dope because even though he only played, again, you got check out my one-on-one with him on Bowie TV, and because I asked him about this, right? Like he had some eligibility issues, still showed up, practice every day, every game, was still just like no one knew he wasn't preparing to play. So when he got his moment at the Shrine Bowl, he did the daggone thing. He was amazing.
Yeah,
and for sure. And enough to still catch that kind of praise from your teammates, opponents at the Shrine Bowl, and of course, scouts and coaches. Where it was really, who are you in the face of adversity, right? You're not going to play, right, this season, but you still showing up. That's that work ethic part. See, that's that Bobby Wagner side. That's that work ethic. That's that consistency. That's that approach to practice to be great, right? Because now I ain't playing, but I'm here and I'm gonna work like I'm playing. And they talked about how much he cheered on his teammates.
Love it.
And all of those things. I said, now that's a commander right there, because that's what I see. That's what I watch. Nobody is more hyped than these dudes than each other. Like, they all turn into fans for one another. It's just, you know, it's cool to watch. And so I you know, after I was finished, I saw him again, and he was like, "What I say? You was laughing, or you was smiling?" I wasn't laughing. I said I was smiling. I said, and I probably shouldn't have been smiling. I should have probably gave you the mean mug. I said, but I'm not a mean person. I said, so I wouldn't have gave you the mean mug. I said, but you got a good story. Like, you got an amazing story. What a way to show up when you only for the whole season. Right? What a way to show up and push through adversity and then be where you are right now. So definitely got the right attitude. The talent is obviously there. He was drafted, and the running back room got better too because of him. We'll see what happens, right? Because you still got Chris. Well, I guess Michael Wiley will still be around there. Chris Rodriguez, then Austin,
McNichols.
Now Bill.
Is McNichols still there? McNichols?
Yeah, McNichols is still there. Yes. So
fumbling.
It's gonna be very good. And just how and I'm just gonna talk about the energy, right? From the coaches. I didn't go over to the defensive line, but I absolutely could still hear Coach Tapp. I'm like, I can still hear Coach Tapp way across here. And because I was spending like some time over there by the running backs. Coach Lynn is just incredible. Coach Anthony Lynn is incredible. So
I love Coach Tapp.
Good.
He can coach me any day of the week, man. For real, he can coach me.
Who is that?
Coach Tapp. He can coach me, man. Everybody else is. I mean, yeah, he fits my style of coaching. Like, yeah, he can coach. I like the way he coaches. I like the way he coaches Tapp. Lynn is. I mean, to me, he's always been one of the better coaches in football. So, but Coach Tapp, man, yeah. A Clip can call some Wishbone from the old days. And Wishbone, we're going deep. So we're going deep. So, but you're excited all around about this rookie class from what you saw at minicamp.
Hey, they stuck with 5 picks. That let me know everything I need to know.
I know, right? It's weird. Like they just 5 picks. I know they got
They
everybody. They must
stuck
have got
with their
everybody want.
5. So that lets me know they got everybody they wanted.
What's the next form of practice or camp you guys going to? Is voluntary? What's
I
next?
guess they be out there all the time, apparently, but because I know that the veterans, everybody was going to be there on Monday.
Got you.
With the rookies.
Oh, with the rookies. Okay.
That, while we were out there, they were bringing the I was calling them the commander's log, but from their Navy SEAL exercises from last year. I guess they're gonna do all that again.
Okay.
So they was bringing all that stuff out there, but we don't go back out there. Media doesn't go back out there until May 28th.
Got you.
May 28th, and I think June 4th, maybe.
Okay.
I'm probably getting the days wrong, but the second week of June is veteran minicamp.
Got it.
They don't let us get too many. We used to be out there all the time during OTAs. It's not as many days.
Yeah, used to. Yeah, what is that?
I mean, I use my
right?
I'm like, hey, I ain't mad. I don't want
it.
to tell none of y'all see. I don't want to tell you see.
Yeah, nobody trying to look, man. You don't want them snitches in. Like you ain't Candi, you ain't a snitch. But some of them folks some snitches. I ain't gonna hold you. But you ain't no snitch though.
I'm not a snitch.
some of them folks be snitching, but you ain't a snitch though, ain't you though?
Yeah, I'm not a snitch.
Nah, oh no, by far. Candi is not one of them. Not one of them. She's not one of them. No, her Mama Wall out here. She knows she ain't raised no snitch.
Right.
Mama Wall ain't raised no snitch. Y'all know.
Yeah. As soon as I saw those little dates, I was like, they don't want us to see what they doing. It's fine.
Oh man, I think you got Mike got a question for you, Candi. Do you know if the new stadium will have a special what's that boot for you guys? Oh yeah, special booth for you guys and the media. You guys deserve it.
Well, we have the press box. We still sit in the press box, so we'll have the press area again. Yeah. So we'll see.
Probably a better press box though. It'll probably be.
When the last time they painted and did all this stuff in the Northwest Stadium? It's a completely different room.
It's a different room.
It's changed, like it's not, but it's
the same room, but
different stuff, and they changed the colors. And I'm like,
the same food. Y'all the same food though. The same food.
You know what? Yes, but there was a few days that it was better. We'll see what it's like on Christmas Day.
Y'all get like chicken, like regular, like chicken. What was it? What was it? Like the salad. What was it? I forget. Like the nachos and stuff. They still do the nachos. They still do nachos and stuff.
They do have nachos.
All right, I didn't know they nachos. I was like, y'all always use the back. Some of the people are nasty using the bathroom in that joint. Y'all was nasty. Some of the folks are disgusting. I gonna hold you. I go to men's room, I'm like, you nasty. I was like, come on. Now I gotta look at you when I'm hosting. When I'm in the press box and we're we're in the we're in the media, we're in the room for the press conference. I'll be like, I can't look at you. I can't look at you anymore.
Well, like you coming back to the press box this year?
Nah, probably not. Still have concerns of strong safety and linebacker depth. We'll see how it could all be corrected. We'll see.
Kane Madrano, I did not get it. That's one I think I told you a moment ago. I didn't get a chance to talk to all of the rookies either at the podium or one-on-one or off to the side. He's the only one I didn't get a chance to talk to. And that was, I just didn't because I was doing, I just didn't get to everybody, y'all. Can't get to everybody. And but he played for Ken Norton Jr. out of UCLA. Lots of all these guys come from great backgrounds. Let's just be clear on that, right? And the team captain thing is still a thing. The Shrine Bowl thing is still a thing. There's still some consistency in the messaging, right? Of what of some of the kind of characteristics there amongst these players. But again, going back to the question about linebacker depth, hey, and the input that these position coaches have, I think it's very important to note that these coaches have a say in who they want, and I think that's huge.
Sure do. Paul got a question there, Candi. How do you feel about the late evenings and nights this year?
Darrell, that's one of the first things he said. He was like, man,
that's gonna be tough for y'all. I'm telling you.
Sleep next season. But I mentioned Karita. She was. I was like, her whole life was primetime games last year.
That's right. They were. Them Ravens definitely were in
So,
prime time. Yeah. But this is like worse than them. I think this shit like it's worse than the Ravens. Like I feel like it's nothing but prime time
we are
games
different time
for the
zones
Commanders.
and a lot of them. And last year, I think we got a little spoiled, right? But that was the other side of not having a good season the year prior, and nobody expecting them to be good at all, really, right? So, the Commanders didn't travel very far. I think it was just like Arizona, But I was like, Dallas do that every year, but this year the travel is a bit. It's a bit, because LA, Spain, Minnesota, Green Bay, of course Dallas, Atlanta. Those ain't bad though. Kansas City this year. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I got to change up a few things to make sure I'm on point. That's all I'll say. I got to change up a few things.
I feel you because that's gonna be rough. Taj, what you say? Well, like it was some brown bombers on the media room team. Media team. I look, bro. When I was there was some man. They started. I'll put it this way: they got to keep away from the nachos, man. Stay away from the nachos and the cheese and stuff. It wasn't good for them. It wasn't. Mike say any predictions? Wins, loss. Nah, I don't do that right now, man. I ain't doing that, Mike. You ain't get me. Paul got 14-3. Paul, you okay? Paul, you know what? Last year you predicted the Commanders record correctly last year when I kind of was illing on you. So I'm not going to doubt you. 14-3 is great, man. Hopefully that's true. 14-3, man.
If they want to if they want to win the division,
go for it.
Yeah,
that's when they did go.
I mean, that's real. What was the Eagles record last year?
It was
not like that, right?
Was it 14-3? Were they that good last year? Were they that good?
Well, the Commanders.
Let me check. Oh shoot, yeah, they were that good.
Yeah.
Oh damn. All right, you say 14-3. Let's go for it.
They 13 or they had to have. Yeah, maybe it was a 14 game. I don't know.
I mean, you could be right. I mean, we beat them. They may have that. You may be right. Record 2020.
Yeah, they was 14-3. I think the Eagles.
Oh, they were? They were 14. I think you're right. Paul, I'm sure. Yeah, 14-3. They sure were.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. They want to win the division.
14-3. Yeah, Paul, right? 14-3.
And we all know
the Deluxe week 1, man. 1-0 week 1. I like that. That's what I'm talking about. The Deluxe things like me. 1-0 week 1. Y'all trying to give me the gift.
You gotta know they want to win the division because that's the only way they get home field advantage.
Yeah, you said Paul. Yeah, I forget how well they predicted is every dog. We do game by game, Betty. That's all we do. And I pick it.
And I may start to use in every game, so nobody's spoiling.
I did. You know what? I may change though. I may change it this year. I may start. I always start off the way I want to do it, like the way I want them to, what I want to happen. And then if they start to fail me, you know what I'm saying? Then that's where I go a different route.
Yeah, I don't really look at any of that. I got to see final rosters.
That too. I gotta see final rosters, and honestly, I gotta hear from folks like Candi because I trust what she says and what she sees out there in training camp. I gotta see like if she says, and Donna too, because I trust you, Donna and Lake. Y'all tell me like, all right, yeah, we gotta look better. This player gotta look better, or this player looks really good. Then I get a good idea of like where I want to go. And then
they don't show us anymore. Yeah. I think like the first week, like week 1, that was against Tampa Bay. Yes, I remember
that was bad. That was hard to
watch. Seeing a few things change. Once the regular season started, and once I picked up on the things that were changing, I confirmed that they were changing. And at that time, it was like, okay, I'm not going to report on this, right?
Yeah.
But that's when I knew what type of time it was with these people. Now, that wasn't a good week, but that's why I also understood when they stopped us from being out there for so long. Like, that's about to stop. And I also kind of just knew that this was a different group of people because they were just that mad week 1. They were that.
Yeah, Paul got a question. Like Candi, what oh damn, sorry. What game are you looking forward to?
I mean, I hate to be like all of them, but I mean, like
I know game I like.
it's so I don't know why it's so hard for me to like gauge. Like, okay, if I had to really, really think about it,
Yeah.
like because all of them is my answer, right? You know,
Yeah.
of course, division games, but all of them now because it's like I'm so I really want to see how they respond truthfully
Mhm.
to that NFC Championship loss because they got manhandled that
To the
day.
Eagles game, that makes sense.
So they got kind of like destroyed that day. Like if I'm being real
No, I
honest,
mean, no. They no kinda. You got to take the kinda
they
out of
got
it.
destroyed. It was bad, but
They got destroyed.
I think I'm looking forward to the games where I know that teams were very upset that the Commanders beat them. So
Oh,
like
like Detroit.
Detroit,
Yeah.
Chicago, Atlanta. The
Yeah.
division games go without saying.
Of
I'm always,
course.
going to look forward to a division game.
Mm-hmm.
But the do-overs for Detroit, Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, those three are big games because I know they mad at the way they lost and how that went down. Those three for certain, and then Kansas City. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
who doesn't
yeah.
want to watch them play Kansas City?
That's the game I want to see. That's the game I want to see. Pat Mahomes
Yeah,
versus Jaden Daniels. I want that game.
right. Who doesn't want
That's
to
the game. That's the game I want to see. I want to see.
Raiders? Just because Jeremy Chin is not are cool, so that we're cool. So it would be
Mhm.
good to see. I like to see people again. And that's even if I can get to the field. I'm gonna try to get to the field to see certain people this year.
Mhm.
But
I see Jeremy. Okay. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the NFL gave us a chance to get ready for the Eagles. Yeah. We'll see how that. See.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised. I know there was a lot of talk, a lot of debate amongst like some beats at the table I was sitting at about who the Eagles were going to play week one because
Yeah.
I didn't
Everybody thought it'd be us. I know. I mean, some people thought it'd
right.
be.
And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, well maybe the Commanders will play Detroit.
Yeah.
None of that worked out the way I thought it was going to in that regard. So, um,
We'll see. And
I mean,
we'll
I'm
see.
looking forward to and I'm looking forward to going to Real Madrid. The Real Madrid state.
Are you going out? You going?
I,
That's what's
I
up.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm
I
here.
like it.
I'm here.
Amos
We'll have to
are
see.
all my yeah. Amos Taylor, yeah. That's the receiver, right?
I think so.
That's the receiver. Is that the? Because I'm hearing a lot of good things about him myself too. So, yeah.
So it's going to be every week to week. It's going to be interesting.
What is on? What did he do? What did Caleb Williams? What's the Caleb Williams stuff? What are you talking about? What's wild?
I don't know what happened.
Oh, the
With
corner. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The corner. It's the corner. The corner. Yeah.
If that's I
That's
need to go in my notes.
yeah. Folks been talking undrafted dude. They've been talking. Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen articles on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen articles on
I
him.
have. He was the tall one that was
Yeah.
them the whole time. Yes, I know who he is.
Okay. He didn't want to be drafted by the Bears. Oh, he didn't want to get drafted by the Bears. I mean, yeah. I mean, who does?
That's
Who
what
wants to?
he said out loud.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, who did? I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wouldn't either. But that's too late, bro.
what the price of tea in China? I mean, like, what they got to do with the price?
I think that was pretty much. I felt like that was pretty much kind of known in the low. I mean, to be honest with you, he was saying slide stuff about that.
I mean,
anyway.
he wasn't going to. I mean, the way the NFL draft is like the NBA lottery. I mean,
Yeah, he had to go there, dog. You had to go there.
Like, you're gonna go to the worst pick.
Yeah, you ain't. Look. It ain't like.
Where was he gonna go?
Well, it ain't like you don't got Eli Manning pull. Put it that way, because Eli Manning got.
Where were you gonna go?
Nah, Eli Manning's the only dude. Not the only dude, but Eli Manning did that where he forced somebody not to draft him.
Who else was going to draft him?
Okay.
But to be honest, he's really happy with Ben Johnson. So.
Oh, he's probably he's probably ecstatic with Ben. No, he's ecstatic with Ben Johnson.
He's elated.
Yeah, elated with.
He'll be all right.
Nah, it worked out for him.
Just fine.
It worked out for him with Ben Johnson. Vicker. Yeah, I like Vickers. I think those do kind of. Yeah, I do think those are guys. Amos is like dog. Amos is the one for me though. Like me and Candi talked about. Amos is the one for me. Like he's going to.
Yeah, I wanted to be clear that there's been no confirmations that Gabe Taylor has been signed. Okay.
Yeah, I know that. I know. Yeah, he hasn't been signed. Yeah, it's a trial. He just had a trial, right?
Right.
Yeah. Auburn. Yeah. We'll see how it works. He looked good though. He got physical tools. 6'2". Yeah. It was just wild that he's still talking about it with the new coach. He's still talking about it now. Oh yeah, he need to shut up. He want a new generation kids. He need to shut up. Everybody know I root for like.
I didn't need to see stuff in context. Like somebody asked him a question, and then
I gotta see if he. That's a good point. That's a good point.
But that is a game that I'm like. Yeah. Because the Commanders did not have a good game that day. That was not a good day.
Yeah, that wasn't a good game at all.
They was a Hail Mary. The Commanders a Hail Mary away from losing. Yep. All right. So
thank you for the dude who was talking trash and taunting everybody.
Yes. Literally. That was the only hey.
Thank you for not knowing how to make a play.
Literally not paying attention.
Thank you, facts. What did Eric say? Gabe Taylor will let us know.
That's what I was like, I want to make sure everybody knows.
Competition. Name aside, kid is nice on the field despite small size. Yeah, he said is a powder kid. Don't
forget Eric Bieniemy. I've been in Chicago.
Yeah, he's there too. Eric Bieniemy's there too, which I do think is a good fit for that type of offense.
Now he might be on some revisit, but he's around.
I ain't remember. That's a whole different regime compared to what.
But this was the regime, though.
Oh, they did want him to. Yeah, that's right. They did want him. It was. No, what it was. Oh well. I do like that. Like in that role, I do like the Eric Bieniemy side. No, what always. Yes. Good night. Good night, Mama Waller. I gotta stop. Good night. We about to stop to end the show too, Mama Waller. I got you. Folks, I got another show to do too. So I do like 3 shows. I got 2 shows. I'm gonna do one, probably one more. I ain't gonna do the other one because I gotta plan a trip. I'm about to be out of town. But folks, thank you all for tuning in. But before we do all that, Candi, I'm gonna need you to plug your stuff. Tell people your social. Tell people everything about Bowie TV and what you got going on. And please don't put your traveling itinerary up here in terms of like the commander stuff because these folks don't need to know all your business. All
right. No.
No.
You all can make sure you're subscribed to Bowie TV on YouTube. Definitely look up the conversation I had with Bill and all the other great content as well. If you know any Ravens fans, tell them to follow as well because we have Baltimore Ravens coverage.
Sure do.
We have the NFC coverage and AFC coverage. We got it all. Tons of HBCU coverage, a lot of community coverage and information as well. If you're local to the DMV, Washington metropolitan area, specifically PG County and Bowie area. And then on X, CWall SE, Instagram, CEO CWall, Facebook, Candi Waller. My name's right here. So follow me. I'm not hard to find. The name is I ain't hard to find.
She ain't hard to find, man. If y'all y'all on the command, if y'all on that commanders, commanders press conferences and stuff, interviews with the coaches, with coaches at the podium. Candi there, you just hear this voice now. You want the same voice, match 2 and 2 together. That's the person.
Did you watch the press conference from Saturday with Coach Quinn when Nikki asked him about what did he think about going to Spain? Did you? I
missed that one. I'm gonna go back.
You got to go back and listen to that whole exchange.
Okay, I will.
Because I actually laughed in the mic.
Oh,
she hit in the mic because I thought it was supposed to be a secret, but
oh yeah, I'm gonna
just for me. I was like, what? See, I can keep secrets. I would keep my face straight as long as I could. But
hey, Paul got this. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rock the mink. Remember last year I was like I was gonna wear my mink.
It's Paul wait for it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody want to know about the mink. Paul State want to know about this mink.
To the Super Bowl to wear it, they didn't make it, so it ain't on me.
Yeah, Paul stayed. My man Paul he went all about the mink. My man Paul.
It's right, because he said, but if they make it back to the NFC Championship, I gotta slap it on. I'm like, I'm going in there with my mink on. So
yeah. He said that Deluxe says Candi has great questions. She does, Deluxe. She does.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I almost didn't get my question out on Saturday because I was laughing. So I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought it was a secret. But clearly at that point it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm gonna check it out. Hey y'all, man, appreciate y'all for pulling up. Anyway, you look. Everybody else. Anyway, man, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. We are out.
You